I have a video of me recording her pushing the thing out, which is the moment, because when she did this like hand movement and it was like that like one motion, beautiful. I was like, oh, now we're in the movie. You know what I mean?
Alice? What's wrong? What happened?
Luciane, you're getting my first question. You're used to this with me. I'm going to give you a big two-parter about playing a deadite. Can you tell me what step one was for playing Tia in deadite form, the first thing that you felt like put you on the right path? But then I also want to know what the last piece of the puzzle is, the last thing you did or put on that made you stop and go like, I am ready to play her to the fullest now.
The first step was the boots, the Doc Marten boots, because they're really hard to move in and to be like agile. So I was like, well, this is going to impair me a bit. So just using the weight of them and kind of having like a pigeon-toed kind of walk, I guess, really like helped me find her. And I asked costume if I could take that home with me and practice. But honestly, it was all the elements. It was the blood. It was the wet hair, every little detail. They called it mottling on my face. They cracked my skin. All of those things. The nails, the color yellow was specific as well. I will never get yellow nails again. I've done it enough. But yeah, I think all those elements just kind of tell the story in itself, and it's just up to us to do the job so
yellow nails are now iconic. I love it. I love it. Now I want the two of you to give her a little love, because watching an actor go to the extreme playing a deadite, like my brain will never compute how people can do that. So for each of you, what was the first thing you saw her do on set playing deadite Tia that made your jaw hit the floor?
I remember we kind of had a joke on set that we'd be like, trailer moment, but then I have a video of me recording her pushing the thing out, which is the moment, because when she did this like hand movement and it was like that like one motion, beautiful. I was like, oh, now we're in the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's that and the drinking of the hot candle wax.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Anything you want to add?
No, I was just very impressed how and that's it. I was very impressed in between takes where sometimes it felt like Luciane had no idea what she was doing. I mean, in a good way. She was so fun. And so we connected. So we were talking about something that had nothing to do with the film and blah, blah, blah. And then it's action, rolling action. And then it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa, she's nailing it, and she's like having so much fun. I was like, oh, I wish I could do that as well.
You could.
I feel like you can see that radiating off screen in the finished product too, and I love it. Let's talk about something you nailed. That oneer. I am a cliche film nerd. My jaw is also on the floor whenever I see a really good oneer like that. What single part of it were you most nervous to nail? The single part of that choreography that you feared would trip you up the most?
Everything. I needed to please the DOP, the director, the stunt, the set designers. I mean, every step that I did in my crawling was affecting another person. I mean, it was a massive, major teamwork. And we did it for a whole day. I mean, it was very hard, and it was very specific, very precise. If I was step a little bit too much on the right, all the take was
can't use it.
Was garbage. So
you and the whole team nailed it.
Yeah.
So wait, was there a single part though that you would worry every time you got to it?
I was a bit worried with Hunter falling out the ceiling.
Oh.
Because I couldn't look at him. I needed to pretend that I wanted to go, but my eyes was secretly watching. Am I on the right? Because it's safety. It was also for him and for myself. I needed to stop at some point where he can just fall just in front of me. So I remember I was acting, but I was like, where is Hunter? Is he falling?
now.
I totally get that. That makes all the sense in the world. Hunter, coming your way now. I was just talking to your Wednesday team, so I wanted to ask you a big genre question because now you've made a movie with Deadites and you've made a TV series with Hides. Which of the two did you find more challenging for you as an actor, and why?
Oh God. Totally for different reasons. Just like neither are something that you learn when you like train in acting, like how to transform into like a literal monster.
How do you do? Show us.
Once I tried to like talk to Tim about it, and he was like, "Yeah," and then you do your like interpretive dance. Because it's literally just like this until you have to do it for too long till it's awkward, and then CGI takes over.
Strange.
Our job is
But
ridiculous.
then on like this, like not that Deadite's something you learn either, but it was cool having these like practical effects on top of it. But yeah, then they also go in and add so much in editing with the voice and the eyes and everything. Yeah.
I don't want to box you into one thing, but I do love the idea of you filling your filmography with a variety of creature features.
Yeah, that's great.
I wasn't like the bad guy in this one, so that was nice.
Debatable.
You said it, not me. I'll ask you all a big question to highlight maybe as many stunts as we can in this movie, because again, I'm just so in awe of what you are able to accomplish in the film with all of these set pieces. They're all so ambitious. There's such variety in them. For each of you, can you name something you saw happen on the Evil Dead Burn set that made you stop and go like, I cannot believe that's what it takes on set to make it look like that in the finished feature?
I have one thing that was amazing to watch. Sorry.
That's what we're doing.
Sorry for being here. Sorry. I have one thing. So the bathroom scene where
It's so good.
Yeah, my stunt double is like, it's not me. Anyway, where the camera is like turning and they go like crawling into the ceiling.
So sick.
It was just insane how everybody was like, and I have a video, I should show you actually. Because I'm talking it's hard to explain how impressive it was to
The
watch.
shot is incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I think they cheered for it last night when it happened. Everyone's like,
It's
from the
unbelievable.
trailer. Like,
Also, Isis, your sendal, doing the scorpion at the bottom of the stairs. She did that so many times.
yeah, she actually split her chin a little bit, but she was so game for it, and yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
I'm surprised
that was
she
why you're
had a head on afterwards.
Yeah.
I could talk about your movie all day. I'm not allowed. I'm going to say biggest congratulations on Evil Dead Burn. I'm so happy to have another Evil Dead movie that I'm going to watch over and over and over again.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations.
Our grandfather believed the devil would return if anyone read from the Book of the Dead.
First question I want to ask you is, what is the single best piece of advice you got from a previous Evil Dead director for helming your own Evil Dead movie?
I'm lucky enough to be pretty close to Fede, and they all behave the same way. Like Rob, Bruce, Sam, they're all like, I would say do three are like uncles, and Fede would be like a big brother. And he's like, again, like trust your guts, and if you have to fight for your ideas. And that's the best advice he gave me. It's like, you are a French director arriving in Hollywood. People will try to do things, tell you things, and they know their work better than you or whatever. Just trust your guts and fight for your ideas. Fortunately enough, I didn't have to fight anyone because everybody was so supportive of everything on this movie. But sometimes I had to fight my own demons, and I had to trust my guts from when I was in Paris in a small apartment for writing the thing, and arriving on set in New Zealand with all this crew and be like, okay, I have to do this. The mirror scene, for example, was something I needed to keep in the movie, even though everything is telling you not to do it because that's too complicated.
I am so glad you held tight to that particular shot. Some of that answer will tee up this next question nicely, because I am always so curious to talk to any filmmaker about the experience of adding to an existing franchise, but also making sure the new installment feels uniquely them. So first, from a style perspective, can you maybe name a couple of style elements of the Evil Dead franchise that you knew you had to hold especially tight to, you had to uphold, but then other things that you wanted to do to make sure this movie felt and looked specifically you?
Oh, it starts with the POV force POV, for example. That's a shot. That's the legacy. That's Sam Raimi's legacy. He put that camera in front of a motorbike and did this crazy shot. So there's kind of signature and something we want to acknowledge, and I'm sure Francis will do it, and we will all do it. And then it starts like that, and then you have these amazing camera movements in the first Evil Dead movies, and that's something that stayed with me for a long time when I was doing my short movies. I wanted to make crazy things with the camera. So as soon as I did my first feature, Vermin Infested, I wanted to do crazy movements, and I wanted to create my own style. And when they called me for Evil Dead, I was like, I will just make that plus. Like I will do a bit more, but that will still be my own style, and that's what I'm trying to develop.
I love hearing an answer like that, knowing to my core that's exactly how I would describe the style of your movie. That, but plus. So good. Here's another thing I'm really curious to hear your perspective on. It's the idea of casting a deadite. When you are looking at actors to play your deadites, is there any particular quality you need to see in them that suggests to you they would not only be good fits for their characters, but they're also the kind of actor who can go to the extreme with this style of horror?
That's funny, because when they did their tape, without me saying anything, like their own take on deadites, I was looking for people who were not like doing too much, not trying to be too much like I'm frightening, I'm scary, but more like I'm smart and I know what's happening in your brain. So it was all about the eyes. So I was only watching eyes and muscle contraction from the face. It's not about being dead, it's about having a really, really old demon inside you and how these demons look at things, look at the world. And when, especially Luciane did that tape, I was amazed by, without saying anything, they understood this. And then when I had the possibility to tell them, okay, try to do this and that, it was, again, all about physicality. And we talked a lot about animals and behavior and how they move and how the character they are when they were alive, how they evolved when they were dead, how things change, how the demons are just adding little things here and there and make them able to be even more than what they were when they were alive. So it's like a caricature or a cliche of what they were when they were alive.
Oh, they're all so good. They're all exceptional, and also all of your set pieces in this movie, and there are many of them, and they are all wildly ambitious, all really, really well done. To lean into that a little, going into filming this movie, which specific set piece did you think was going to be the most difficult for you and the team to pull off? And ultimately, was it, or did a different one catch you by surprise?
It's not the one everybody think about, but the dinner scene for me was one of the most difficult, because that was a big challenge for me, because it's not about having stunts and doing this amazing movement or whatever. It's all about being slow and make the tension rise throughout the edits, throughout little sound, and throughout performances. So for me, that's a pretty long scene. That's a 7-minute one, and I don't want the audience to be bored 1 single second. I want them to be afraid by something will happen. So that was a very, very, very big challenge to me, but it went pretty well.
Well done. I feel like the use of cutaways in particular, kept me on my toes. I was very concerned for everybody at that table. Here's a question that I personally have a lot of thoughts on, but I need to know from the perspective of someone who has worked on this franchise. I find that so many horror franchises out there have great potential to go on and on and on, but there's something about Evil Dead that I think means endless possibilities. So do you think that the Evil Dead franchise is a movie that could go on forever? And if so, why does it have more longevity than most horror franchises out there?
Because it invented something. It invented first the cabin in the woods, but it also invented the most horrible question, which is, would you be ready to kill people you love? So with good characters, the franchise will still be alive. That's all we need. We don't care if it's in a cabin, in a house, in a hotel, in a boat, in a prison. If you have good characters, if you have those words and those demons, that's why the franchise is still alive. Deadites are really smart, and they are universal. They are playing with things that we all have our dark secrets. We all have the things in our head that we are not really proud about. And that's, I think, what makes us really rely to the character all the time in these Evil Dead movies, because we are like, oh, that's the most horrible situation ever, and I wouldn't want to be in this situation, but I will pay a ticket to see what happens and how they survive to that.
Sincerely, the creative possibilities in this franchise, to my core, I believe, are endless.
Endless.
I'll squeeze in a sillier question. I love asking would you rather questions, and your movie just gives me so much ammunition for a good one. So, would you rather fall in a dishwasher filled with knives and forks, drink super hot candle wax, or have your fingers chopped off by a car door?
Oh, maybe the wax. We never know what happens. I can survive. Lose my fingers. That's too and knives. That's too painful.
Someone told me apparently there's a Simpsons episode out there that would justify the wax as being the right choice, but I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
They have the answer to everything, so
For real.
Check.
I'll end on one last serious question to bookend our conversation, because at this point, you have made an Evil Dead movie, and it is absolutely phenomenal. So now, what piece of advice would you pass on to another Evil Dead filmmaker?
Just do your own thing and trust your guts, because that's the best advice I had. So I would give the same. Just understand the franchise, respect it, but destroy it also.
I love that mentality. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Phenomenal work.